Welcome to the Liberace Mansion.
Welcome to Under the Vegas Sun, looking at the people, the events, and the news surrounding Las Vegas and the entire Vegas Valley. Hello, I'm Steve Schorr. We are live from the Liberace Mansion. Over time, we have had many entertainers on our program, great entertainers, great pianists, great artists. On our program today, probably one of the more unique entertainers that you've ever known or heard about. He's a man that goes all the way back to the mid-60s, star of a great movie called Saturday Night Fever. He is unique in his own very, very special way. In a moment, you'll meet him. We'll be right back with the man known as Monti Rock III. Stay with us.
Hey, it's Mark Chinook from Monday's Dark, and you are watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Schorr.
What does it take to become an icon? It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication. There are some icons that I think most of us know, some icons that have been there for a long time that we don't know as well. Our very special guest on the program today is indeed just that. In the entertainment world, he is an icon. His name, Monti Rock III. My friend, welcome.
Well, thank you. Icon.
You are an icon.
Well, I don't feel it because I've been around so long, and I have so many valleys in my career. You know, I've been up high, and then it went down. Then I had Saturday Night Fever in '76. Dream was a small little part. It was a big part. But the career took off. I was a hairdresser, remember?
Oh, I know. That's where it started.
It started, yeah. I was the #1 hairdresser in New York City. And I met a woman called Trudy Heller in my beach house. And the true story was I used to be with my little dogs, and this woman, my dogs were barking, and I get up screaming at, and this woman was topless. And I smoked a joint, and I became a singer. Anyway, so that's how it began.
Monti, one of the more amazing things about you is you're a gentleman who is very, very comfortable in their skin. I've known you for a while now, and I've seen all of those things that you talked about, the up and downs of life. I know Zozo here is very, very important to you. But you were probably one of the first true entertainers that came out about being gay, and you did so in a manner in which you showed the pride of who you were as an individual in a time when people didn't accept that. How did you get through that, Monti?
Because basically Johnny Carson gave me the story. He found me in '62 in a show called Lazy, and they were very worried about me, really worried, NBC was, and they gave me an idea that, first of all, I was outrageous in those days, and I never dreamed that one show on NBC would Zoom me.
It was Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson, mm-hmm. and they put me under contract, and Shirley Wood was my talent coordinator, but they didn't want to change me, but they found out that I was naturally funny. So Johnny,
hilarious.
He would absolutely call a self-starter. So he put the plugs in first. What nobody knows is that Johnny Carson was the best straight man I ever had in the industry. But the gay thing came about because the gays disliked me. I came here in 1968, opened Caesar's Palace. It was called Nero's Nook. In Nero's Nook, you had Woody Woodbury, the Chet Mates, Phyllis McGuire in the big room, and the Queens decided to attack me.
Really?
Oh, yeah, really.
Why?
Because I was more outrageous than even Lee.
You were outrageous.
Yeah. And I wore feathers, and I wore lashes. And every day I played Keno with Red Fox, believe it or not. And I was kind of a New York kind of kid, you know, tough and had...
From the Bronx. You were a kid from the Bronx.
And I didn't know the enormity of what happened. So every day I walk out and I say, I don't like that. It's the Prince of Peace. And I go down. Dave Vickers said, no, entertainment. And they got crazy with me. What happened is the gays really had a vendetta towards me then. So what I did do, I became elegant about it. I made sure that I never went to gay bars. I don't visit my pain. I hung out with Red Fox. I hung out with Toady. And I noticed the attack was because I was even outrageous for them, out as I was. But I always call the word elegance and eloquence. Sounds crazy.
But there was, I have to tell you, there was, after you came out and after you were this flamboyant entertainer, there was an acceptance
There was.
of gay that had not been there before.
But still, the closet was very big until I got to Hollywood. When I got to Hollywood, nobody knows this, but before Saturday, I did the worst films because people used to, for Saturday Night Fever, they want to plug their films, so they put me in these bad movies. Comeback Trail, Buster Crab, I mean, movie after movie. And every part I played was a gay character. Great casting. But nobody knows this. Hollywood is the first place, I'm a New Yorker, that I didn't belong because I'm New York. I didn't belong at a pool party. Jane Mansfield got to like me and taught me about press. Jane took me to Bobby Darin's house, taught me how to open supermarkets, taught me the press, taught me press. Jane Mansfield. And the great story about this, I was working in a place called the Red Velvet, and I didn't know, to this day, I didn't know what the fuss was about. I didn't know.
The big change for you, I think, came about in, I think it was February of 1975, lasted into 76, when you became the disc jockey in probably one of the greatest musical movies that happened at that time called Saturday Night Fever. It was you. At the same point, there was a song that came out that you did called Get Dancing.
That was 73.
That was 73.
73.
But that made you
7 million.
the disco queen.
But I hated it.
Before.
I hated it.
Why?
Okay, Bob Crewe was a genius. I was a singer, and a good singer. And Bob Crewe and Mr. Wes Farrell, who I love to the day I die, decided to launch this disco idea. Now remember, I had a little Mercedes. I lost my house. One of my lovers burned my house. I mean, I was a drama queen. So Bob Crewe and Wes, Bruce Miller. I didn't know the enormity. Don't forget, I'm a New Yorker. I'm in with Bob Crewe in the studio with all these people telling me, and I hated it.
Discotheques and the Sexolettes.
But let me tell you the story. So they took me to London with the Klinger sisters, and it didn't work. And I met this wonderful lady called Ruth Bowen, who's a reefer manager. And I went there, and she said it's never going to work because it's bubblegum or something like that. We're going to make you a black act or a colored act. And it worked. It's just sincere. But again, there was a point I couldn't do it anymore.
But you were the disco queen before Donna Summer ever was.
Way before.
Way before Donna
Seymour
Summer.
Stein signed me. Seymour Stein signed me before Madonna. Seymour Stein, look him up. Seymour Stein made a record deal with me. If you think I'm a drama queen, darling, I was the worst. Record studios, I didn't want to come in. I was into the Psycho Stars, and I was into voodoo kind. And make a long story short, Bob Crewe could handle me. His ego was bigger than all my careers. He had done the Four Seasons, and it was Frankie Valli who kept telling me, you could have a hit record. Oh, man, I've been to this. This is my 50th single, ain't gonna work. And I've had a fight with Bob, living in my mother's basement in Florida. I'm driving on 95, may God be my judge. I'm driving, doing hair, and I hear this record on the radio. I go to the side of the road. It's not my name, by the way. It's Discotheques.
Discotheques and the Sexolettes.
But it's not Monty Rock. So I turn the station, and I hear and I go to New York to meet the great man, Freddie Gershon. He comes in the room and says, "Did you sign anything?" I said, "I signed my life away." The story is about when everything in my life has been a mistake, or has been not by people have passions of show business. I don't have none of that.
Well, I'm going to go to a break. But as we go into the break, I'm going to play for the audience some of Discotheques and the Sexolettes and Get Dancing. And when I come out of that, you and I are going to talk about this amazing thing that you do, which is reinventing yourself over and over and over again. So here's Discotheques and the Sexolettes, Get Dancing. You'll remember this.
hits I remember. I'm your friendly disc jockey trying to tell you it's time to get dancing, baby. You can't think of all the wrong and all the wrong of the world. You can't think of all the bad things you do. You just gotta keep dancing. Put out your mind. Oh, keep on dancing, baby. I'm turning myself on. Oh, yeah. Everybody get it. Come on, girl. Hey, oye, Pablito. En la casa, mira que baila un poquito. Oye, a mí. Quiero que ustedes todas bailan. You must dance. You must do whatever you gotta do. You must forget all the troubles. You ain't got no hope. You ain't got nothing going.
Musician, writer, singer, columnist,
Actor.
DJ, you name it, he's done it. He is indeed an icon. So honored to have as our guest today, Monti Rock III. I love it.
But you understand, you know who I am.
Oh,
Most
I know who
people-
you are, and I'm honored to have you on the show.
Because people don't know, is 2 years ago, my partner, 40 years, passed away. He was my manager, he was my parent, he was the world.
And Zozo saved you.
Saved my life.
Why? How?
I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get over it. And I wanted the most special dog. So everybody wanted me to go to the pound. I said, darling, I want the greatest Pomeranian. And they said, no, but it's $3,500. I don't care. I wouldn't get out of bed. And this little thing arrived, this small, from Tresta Martina and her family.
Zozo.
And it was so tiny. And they said, if you can't handle it, we'll take it back. This little baby taught me responsibility, taught me patience, taught me unconditional love. And that's what I needed.
It's the best. You continue over and over and over again, my friend, to reinvent yourself. I remember in the stories that were written, they said Monti Rock was the biggest hit who never had an act.
But Mike Weatherford did the greatest story, the world's most successful failure. He took me to a theater, to a reunion of Saturday Night Fever. There were only 20 people in the theater. And Mike Weatherford, God bless him, he really got the essence of Monti Rock. He said to me 2 years ago, if you put your mind to it, you could be the #1 gossip columnist in Vegas. You could be the bitchiest. I said, I can't. No, you can, because you've already did all the work. You've been there.
And you are now.
Yeah, I am now. But
you are now. You're the queen of
I was
gossip.
very careful. And what changed that was that people write in my site. I have 70,000 followers. And a man called Brandon Powers, who's a magical human being. I don't know where this man, but when Bruce died, this man took upon himself to help me through Mike Weatherford. Created jobs for me. I'm doing Sunday, but rarely do I see a club owner who, I've been in the club business all my life, but not somebody would take the risk of, and I've gotten to know him as a human being. So when you think about what I've been through, this is another beginning at 80. The film is important to me. It's dedicated to my partner. The only difference with the film is I want humor. I want the humor. The humor of my life is what saved me.
Oh, I'm sure.
The humor. And to have been loved the way I've been loved by my partner, who, this is a terrible story, he never came out, so he would marry me. So on his deathbed,
it's okay, my friend.
I had to abide by his wishes. Didn't want a service or something. The next day in my house, there were flowers from everybody. In 1 hour, the place was full of flowers. He's Jewish. We gave a rabbi a Jewish ceremony. And we told stories about Bruce and I that were very funny. Because to be with anyone like myself, you have to be an extraordinary human being.
I would presume.
Yes, because off stage, I'm really pretty normal. I'm a pretty normal human being. But I'm also somebody that understood that my partner had the best interest for me as my manager, as my agent. So after Saturday Night Fever, 76, 77, I did a string of bad movies. I thought I was a star, you know. Please, darling, I want talkies. Anyway, so to make a long story short, the film did what it had to do. It still pays me. How I got the part was even, they had to find someone. I came to Brooklyn, and one of the nicest people, I say this on camera, was John Travolta. This man, I would tell you what he did. He wanted to meet me. I always go to the crew. I don't ever go, I always play cards. I used to be a chain smoker, so I played with the crew. And his assistant came in and said, JT wants to meet you. And I'm smoking, oh, JT, you know. And 2 days later, they come back and say, you know, darling, John Travolta, who's a star this epic, wants to meet you. I had little rollers in my hair. I had a robe. I looked like Betty Davis and Baby Jane. Hey, he said, Monty, I'm your biggest fan. And I said like this, why is my name Bernie? He said, well, it's a part. I said, it's a small part, John. I want to be Monty's. You have to take it over to John Banton, the producer, the director. He calls him in. He said, oh, give him Monty. That's how I became Monty.
That's wonderful.
And he took me to Hollywood to loop on his nickel. The only thing John did, the premiere, I didn't want to go to the premiere. A weird story. I was maybe in love. I don't know what it was. And they found me, and I wanted $1,000 in a car. Oh, please. And he is one of those rare show business people that I haven't met since I'm him.
He's a very rare man.
Very rare man.
Very rare man.
And try to help me again. You know, reunions, I don't do reunions. A few months ago, I went to New York, Steve, for another reunion of Saturday Night Fever. You know, maybe $1,000 in a hotel room. And everyone, and I'm old, but everybody would look so old, you know.
Now, you also have a CD.
Yeah, this is all my singles.
How many singles are on here?
Okay.
54?
There'd be more. Okay, I was originally with a man called Shelby Singleton, Quincy Jones, Artie Rip, Seymour Stein for Madonna. I've been with maybe 10 labels, but the man that always respected me, who was married to Tina Sinatra, was Wes Farrell, did the first record. Wes Farrell believed in me, and he takes me to 21 in New York.
Great club, 21.
73,
That's a great club.
And I'm very elegant. I'm in my fox coat, and he says, hey, we're going to do a single. I'm an album project. He said, get it. So Wes Farrell, I'm in Hollywood, and tells me like I'm telling you, he said, look, if you bring me any kind of half-a-hit record, we can do a deal. And he put together the deal with Wes, with Bob, Bruce Miller. The difficult thing is about myself is I don't have discipline as an actor. That's my biggest downfall. You get me there, I'm here, but discipline I don't have.
No, once you get there, you're fine. It's getting there.
But it's a problem. Film is waiting. Film is about waiting. And I play cards with the crew. I always play with the crew. The greatest story by Saturday Night Fever, everyone found out that I was broke. Everyone took a week off. It was a great story. Just the film. When I came on the set to do my scene, I got an ovation from the cast and crew for 10 minutes. The cast and crew just applauded me and screamed.
And you became such an integral part
I didn't know.
of that movie. Such an integral part. Saturday Night Fever would not have been Saturday Night Fever without the music, without the dance, without that individual who was you.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
I know. It's just,
And no
it's
script.
amazing.
And no script.
No
No
script.
script. John Bantam said to me, I remember the names, in one take, brothers, one take. Then I had a little problem, this sounds weird, because the dancing had to be done second, so they want to keep me in that one frame, John. So they wanted to loop, and this is where John Travolta comes in. So I go, they rap, big party in New York. And to me, $11,000 in those days was a lot of money. And $250 a day per deal. $250 a day. Now they gave me a suite at the Plaza, which I rented out, by the way. And I stand in front every morning.
You stayed at home in Bronx.
Yeah. But here's the greatest story of all. The premiere was Suite 54. It was mind-boggling. for me because I didn't know to be part of something. I already was in my 30s and almost, I already been done. I've been a hit recording star. I've already been convicted of murder. Hollywood didn't want me. I did a Broadway show from behind bars. And by this time, I had met my partner, my manager, and I found out the best thing about life, if you have a humor about it, you'll survive. After Saturday Night Fever, my partner and I became a nightclub act in Aruba, and I worked with Ruth Bowen. And then I decided, in Florida where I lived, where I had Rent-A-Star, where I had a big ad in the paper, you can rent me out for $400. I do your hair, take you to dinner, and get a watch. True story. And that did for 2 or 3 years. And then we came here to Vegas. This was the hardest nut to crack. When I came here,
tough town. It's a tough town. This is a tough town. Now, let me tell you. Let me say this to you.
Please.
First of all, this has been the fastest half hour I think I've ever spent on this.
Thank
This
you.
has been an incredible half hour.
Thank you.
I would love to have you back in a few weeks.
Thank you.
And here's what I want. You have been in town since 1968. You have seen all the good, the bad, the up.
I left in '68.
Right. All the good, the bad, the up, the down of this town.
Horrible.
You know how this town has changed.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's always been that way. It's always been that way. But the entertainment in this town has changed dramatically. When we come back on the show in a few weeks, we'll have you come back.
I would love to.
And we're going to talk about the entertainment, what this town is about, the gossip that you now know about this town, and the great things about this town. So will you come back in a few weeks and talk to us?
My honor. My total honor. Total honor.
Let me tell you, folks, this has been a true pleasure for me because I've known this man for a long time, and his stories and what he knows about Las Vegas and what he knows about life. And Zozo here with him now is wonderful.
He's my baby.
In a couple of weeks, we'll get him back. You'll hear even more about Las Vegas.
Thank you.
We'll take a break for a couple of seconds and be right back.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eamon Springall of Stitched at the Cosmopolitan, and you're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Schorr.
As I said, Monti is an amazing man. His stories are something you can really learn about, and I promise you we will get him back on the program again to talk about Las Vegas, his insights about Las Vegas entertainment, and the wonderful, wonderful gossip that he has. Now, talking about gossip, here's something for you. The wonderful stadium that will become home of the Vegas Raiders is now about 20% complete. Yes, right, 20% complete already. The Vegas Raiders Stadium will open in 2020, and I'm telling you, it will become a showplace for the NFL. Until the next time, I'm Steve Schorr. Be safe and enjoy life under the Vegas sun.